Go live. And surprisingly, to the surprise of no one, we're back on a Monday.
Actually, everyone should be surprised because, you're about 50-50 nowadays. So,
Wow.
yep. Well, welcome. Hey, you know what today is?
It's Monday?
Manic Monday. You
Manic
know why?
Monday. One.
I wish it was Sunday. You know why? Because that's my fun day.
Sundays are fun
Well,
days.
the Legends Clubhouse. I am Bobby Caboose, as always. Through that screen, through the camera in that purplish, orangish room, that we're not really sure where you're at, is Lawson Turner. What's going on, man?
What is going on? We all had a joyous, weekend. We were very busy, and I know your Lions. It was interesting because when we were out and about on Sunday, I checked my phone and it's like Dan Campbell is taking over offensive play calling, and I'm like, I wonder why. And apparently there was disconnect between Johnny Morton and like some of the players and stuff like that. But Dan Campbell is this the first time he's called plays?
No, he's called plays when Ben Johnson was our offensive coordinator too. Like he sometimes just does it like to switch things up.
I was gonna say because it was almost like a flawless offensive performance. I think it was what no punts, no penalties, like almost fucking 500 yards of offense, scored 44 points, going insane.
Yeah. It was a nice victory against the Fighting Mariotas.
The Fighting Mariotas. But yeah, dude.
Yep.
So how was your weekend? What'd you do?
What did I do? The fuck did I do? I don't really know what I did. So we, I started door dashing a little bit. I
Yeah.
got used to doing that just to bring some cashola in,
Mm-hmm.
or some extra cash for the holidays. So I door dashed a little bit. Um, we went over to my buddy's tattoo shop. He was having a fundraiser for mental health. So it was pretty cool. Like he had like 150 tattoo designs that like basically would take like up to about a half hour to tattoo. So they were very like
Mm-hmm.
small. They were $100 each. And part of the proceeds went to mental health. And so the girlfriend got a tattoo. And then we went out Saturday night to celebrate two of our friends. Both their dads are dead, but they have the same birthday. So we went out for Happy Dead Dad Day on Saturday night, and
I'm trying
then
so hard
Sunday
not to
Funday.
laugh
Man.
because you're like, yeah, both of their dads are dead. I'm like,
well, well, yeah. I mean, you know, they're
mm,
not. They're unalived.
there
You
you go,
know,
there you go.
but
There's,
not by suicide, but they're just unalived. I don't know. I don't know. Is unalive only a term like for suicidal people,
I
or
have
is it
no
just be
idea.
like
I mean,
so?
to be more politically correct, I would say like they're no longer with us.
Well, thanks. Well, so we went for Happy Dead Dad Day, and
Insane.
had some drinks and stuff, and then yeah, yesterday watched some football.
Mm.
I got to give you credit, man, because I tried to take over the Twitter game while you were busy, and I didn't get much interaction or engagement with people. So, I'll give you more credit for running the New Leaf News X, man.
Thank you. And to kind of dive into what I did over the weekend. So Saturday, I went to my first NHL game. I've been to a hockey game before, but I went to the Tampa Bay Lightning against. They were hosting the Washington Capitals, and what's pretty cool is at the team store, I got this puck and Lightning caps, and I thought it was pretty cool. Now my Caps didn't win, but it was super cool because Alex Ovechkin is my favorite player, so it was pretty cool to like see him in warm ups, see him take some one tees and stuff like that. It was
Yeah.
The only thing that would have made it better is if they would have won. But once again, it was still super exciting. Got a bunch of really cool, videos and pictures of the stadium and players warming up in the arena, and it was completely awesome. And then on Sunday, me and my buddies got season tickets to the Bucks the Bucks games, and
Hmm.
he's got super cheap seats, and he got them like 5 6 years. I guess whenever you're a season ticket holder, whatever price you get in at, that's what they are every year. I guess. So he got his when tickets were still super cheap. I think, huh?
That must be nice. It must be nice because that's not the case for Detroit Lions fucking season ticket holders. I can tell you that much. They increased the price by 70% this year.
I think for the two super nosebleeds, it's like $1,100 a year, and he's had it for like the past however many years. And so, but he doesn't use his seats. He uses the ticket to get in, then goes to the all standing section by the pirate ship. And so,
Mhm.
we were at the all standing section for the Patriots game, and it was packed. It was awesome. It was so funny because when we were walking to our seats and stuff like that. My buddy was saying, I think this is gonna be it's gonna feel like an away game. There were so many Pats fans, and as like a little souvenir, I'm not a super souvenir person, but if it's the first time at a stadium game XYZ, I got this souvenir Baker Mayfield cup. Now, if you get one of these, it's actually unlimited soda like at the thing, but at the event, but I don't drink soda, so let me tell you about how taxing these water prices are. So where the standing section are, there are two like little not pop up clubs, but they're like little two pop up like kiosks, just like drink sodas, XYZ, all that jazz.
Yeah.
So I walk up to one and say, "Hey, how much are waters?" And he said like 850, and I'm like, where the fuck are the Baker Mayfield refillable cups? And he's like, soda cups are right back there. And I was like, okay, cool. I walk over to the actual fucking stand that's connected to like it's an actual building, but you can't walk all the way around it. And they were
Mhm.
selling the waters for 2 for 10. And so I was like, that dickhead over there was gonna sell me one water bottle for 850, but they're selling 2 for 10 over here. And so I said, let me get 2 bottles of water and this cup, and then she was like, okay, what soda do you want?" I'm like, "I don't drink soda. I just want the cup." And so she had to ask over like two other of her coworkers, and I'm like, "Hey, how do I like charge this? Because he doesn't want soda. He just wants the cup." And so I'm like, "I'll pay the full," because I think the cup was like 13 14 bucks. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'll pay it. I'm getting it for the souvenir cup. I don't want soda or whatever. And then
Right.
so yeah, I ended up paying full price. Not the worst thing in the world, because once again, I just wanted the souvenir cup. And then
Yeah.
so the game was super dope. It was funny because every time the Bucks enter the red zone, they fire the cannon. Every time they score a touchdown, they fire the cannon. Every single first down, the dude on the PA, the PA to like say, "Oh, 7 yard rush by Rashad White or whoever." After they would pick up enough yards for a first down, he'd say, "First down, Tampa," and the entire arena or the entire stadium would go bang, like every single fucking first down. And I was
Were,
like,
were you launching the cannon?
"Where
Did
was
you get
I?"
to? Yeah. Did you
Sad,
launch the cannon?
sadly, no, but I was right next to it. It was dope.
Why didn't you do it?
I asked, they told me no.
Oh, that's stupid. Why?
I
Because
should
you're not from Tampa?
I should have just did it.
Yeah, you should just push the guy real quick and then push the button.
They had Shaquille Barrett up there to I guess hype up the crowd and stuff like that, because he was on the Super Bowl team. But yeah, it, that would have been the perfect instance for ask for forgiveness, not for permission, and just started firing the cannons.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I wonder if Raymond James, because that's the stadium, right? Raymond James.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can bring your own water in because, like, for example, for like Comerica Park for the
Hmm.
Tigers games, as long as it's sealed, you can bring in a water bottle,
We.
and have your own
Hmm.
because they won't deny you. And actually, you can bring your own food in too. Like, you can bring your own like pizza and shit in. Like,
I
you
got
can kind of
agreements
bring
with
in whatever.
that, dude.
So.
So we were tailgating because one of my buddies coworkers was tailgating, so we went there and just hung out, drank for a minute, and then when we were at the lot, I guess some people from the Monster Energy drink. I don't know if they were brand ambassadors, whatever, but they were just walking around with a rolling cooler and was like, "Hey, do you guys want a free Monster?" So I was like, I'll take one, just to have drink through the course of the game, XYZ and all that jazz. And so they gave us some monsters. They wanted to take our picture, so we took a picture. And then when we got all the way up there, Monster Can was sealed, hadn't opened it yet. I get all the way up there, and as I'm going through like the little X-ray thing, the bro points at the can and says, "You got to throw that out." And I'm like, "It's not even opened." And so yeah,
Yeah,
I just had to throw it out. And I was like, "Oh, it's kind of depressing."
yeah.
What I
Well,
should have done,
that's
I
why
should,
they were
huh?
free. That's probably why they were free because they knew you couldn't bring them into the stadium.
Well, I mean, we were on like the super far lot, so
Hmm.
what I should have done, I should have just drank it right there, like right before I walked in. But it is what it is.
Right.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. So, dude, so yesterday we had what's the weather like down there, man?
Um, it was like 83 yesterday.
Cool.
It is currently uh, sitting at a nice 59 with a high of 72 today.
Oh, that's awesome because today in Detroit,
Hmm.
it is currently 27 degrees. We have snow on the ground, and the high is 33.
Oh, so the
So,
weather's starting to turn.
well, yeah, Friday it's gonna be 50 something, so that's
Mm.
great. But yeah, man,
How
it
much
was
snow?
it was kind of like a snow globe last night. I mean, it's like a dusting, so like like the cement is kind of clear, but like on the grass and shit, there's just a layer of snow. It's not a
Mm.
big deal, but it's depressing, man. It's really depressing. It's November 10th, and I'm not ready for fucking snow.
La 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 la.
I know. So yeah, but speaking of the Bucks Patriots game, man, I was
Mm.
watching some of that, and I did see the ship, and I saw you. They panned in on you real quick, and you were like doing like the DX suck it or something to the camera. But while you were doing that, it is funny because I didn't realize at one point I didn't realize who the home team was because there was MVP chance for Drake May.
Bro, and we were right near. Every time it started, it was like it was right behind us. And my buddy's a diehard fucking Buccaneers fan, and you know how you hate Matthew Stafford and you hate the half and half jerseys and shirts.
Yeah.
He fucking cannot stand the half and half Brady jerseys or Gronk jerseys. And we were walking past people, and he's like, "It's just starting to piss me off,"
There
because
was that many half and half jerseys.
there was so many half and half Brady and Gronk jerseys, and I'm
Jesus
just like,
Christ.
"Damn, dude." It was it was awesome. And there was this one cop that was just just always just walking back and forth and around, and he was he was just talking shit to Bucks fans, just because, not that he was a Pats fan, but he just to talk shit, just talk shit or whatever, just to.
Right.
But I will say this, Mr. Employee that was in front of me the entire fucking game, in front of the all standing section. If I ever see you, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. Not really, but he ruined my experience. He was overly talking to fans. He was a stadium worker who was supposed to check tickets when they're going to the lower deck. Barely did his fucking job. I'm in the all standing section. He's literally in my fucking way 80% of the game. I had to look from side to side around him. What made it even worse is he would try and like interact with like us and just other fans, and bro, just it was also one of those things where it's like he just didn't know ball, because there's like the small comments that he would like he like he would lean up, like walk over to us and be like, so if my math is right, if they kick a field goal, it's still only one score game. I'm like, you fucking nerd, get the fuck away from me. And like he just he was kind of ruining our experience, dog. And once again,
I feel like I feel like you would be doing that. You'd be like to your boys, be like, "Hey guys, I just want to let you know if they
still on
kick a
one score.
field goal here, it's a one score game. So it's only
No,
a one score game."
dude, but like he was talking to everybody, and like
You're just being nice.
this one girl bitched him out, and I was like, oh fuck, because he made some like whatever friendly comment or whatever, and she just kind of looked at him, gave him the stank face, and me and my buddy looked like, damn, and she locked eyes with us, and uh, my boy was like, did this dude have a comment to every fucking thing? Like, I get it, the friendly, blah blah blah. He looked like a dude who like talked to no bitches in high school, but now he can like check your tickets. I gotta talk to everybody now. Like, bro, if you had no friends, it's all good, dog. Only problem is don't try to overcompensate now that you have a semi authoritative position. Like that shit was genuinely triggering the fuck out of me.
Dude, so so yesterday we're at the bar watching the Lions game, and
Yeah.
a couple of people that come up and watch are Lions season ticket holders, and
Mm.
you know, they played in Washington, so they were up at the bar with us since it was an away game. But so he holds the door for this lady, right, to get in because he's a smoker, so he goes outside, and it's fucking freezing outside, like
Yeah.
so he opens the door for her, and she doesn't even acknowledge it. She just fucking walks through, doesn't say thank you, doesn't say give him a smile, anything. So he comes in and he's already under the influence, and he's an animated guy anyway. Like like it's kind of funny to watch Lions games with him because he's like, he'll just be like, "That's a fucking hold. You can't do that." Just like just like super animated. Every play's a hold, or everything's against, just everything is against the Lions. Like it's to a point where it's kind of comical, right?
Yeah.
So he comes in, he's like, you see that lady with the bedazzled Lions hat? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, she's a fucking bitch. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what happened? And he's like, I opened the door for her. She don't say fucking shit. She doesn't even acknowledge me. He's like, get off your fucking high horse and all this shit. So he's going on this fucking tangent, right? Well, the lady was getting like a to-go order or something, and so she's walking out, and he turns around and looks at her, and he's like, "Have a fucking great day, you." See you next Tuesday. I'm not gonna say the word, but that's the abbreviation. It was just fucking hilarious, dude. And
That's crazy.
again, she gave it. It's like I don't. I'm sure she heard him.
That's
This
hilarious.
guy.
Speaking of like fan stuff that are animated, I don't know if you saw this point in the game, but there was a play where Drake May was rolling right, not towards the goal line, but out of bounds, like almost in scoring position, and it looked like he got fucking clobbered out of bounds, and it should have been a flag. And once again, we're in an all standing section where like
Mhm.
there's little gates, but like there's a couple like layers on them, so if you want, you can stand on the fucking gate. Fucking everyone, and there was this one Pats fan. He just fucking damn near jumped over the game. I was like, "That's a fucking flag!" And was just fucking yelling and animated. And we look over, and Rabel's got his headset all fucking yelling at the official, and fucking everyone's just fucking animated. But it was even more crazy because you know Drake may hit Matt Collins for like a 50 like 9 yard pass to set up
Mhm.
first and goal, and he ended up throwing a pick in the end zone, and so the Bucks had a little bit of life and all that jazz, but obviously they didn't pull through. But it was 100% worth the worth going. The atmosphere
Yeah,
was awesome. The fans were great on both sides, and it was really fun.
and you got to see two good teams, two good quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
that works, man. Dude. So the I can't believe I saw a team's record. Ask me or guess which team I'm talking about. I saw a team's record after a victory yesterday and could not believe that they are at the record that they are at.
The Baltimore Ravens?
No, the Chicago Bears. They're 6-3, dude, and
Yeah, which
they
is
let up
nuts.
52 points against the Lions. Like I'm like, how are they 6-3? I mean, because you got the Vikings who are now I think 4-5. You got the
Uh,
Lions who are 6-3. The Bears are 6-3, and then the Packers are like what 6-2-1 or something.
yeah,
So
and they host the Eagles tonight.
yeah, so go Eagles. But dude, I can't. Yeah, I can't believe the Bears and Ben Johnson are 6-3.
Hmm.
I feel like they haven't had that hard of a schedule. I'm not really sure, but I just couldn't believe that they're 3 games above 500.
Hmm. I was actually looking into their schedule, and like they've got a couple tougher games coming up. But what's really interesting is with the Niners getting Goomba Stomp last yesterday, and the fact that like their team is slowly falling by the wayside with injuries, and the Bears actually play the Niners in a couple weeks, so that could genuinely be like a game for the 7 seed.
Yeah, yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. And even like Carolina's 5-5. They're at a nice 500 mark, which I didn't expect.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, it was. I think it was a good Sunday for football.
Very.
There was, I think, 3 teams scored 44 or more points. So
That was
plenty of
insane.
offense. We'll see next week. Every game will be fucking like this Raiders Denver game on Thursday, but this week it seemed like there was a lot of action going on.
It was especially crazy too because like they had all the scores up to the
Mhm.
1 o'clock games on one of like the giant Titantrons or whatever, and because I wasn't watching the game live, I couldn't make through what all was going on, but I was shocked when like every time I look at the score, Bills down 7-0. Bills down 13 zip.
Yeah,
Bills down 13 zip. Bills down 13 zip. And then I look at the play-by-play and I was like, okay, well they had a fumble inside the 5, another fumble inside the 5, a pick in the end zone, and I'm just like, dude, like, could this be like the end of Sean McDermott's coaching tenure? Like, just based off of this is the worst Patriots team that Vrabel will have. So they're already rolling, and it's so funny because the Bills remind me of the Steelers in the late 2010s, where it's like you can play up to anybody. Like you look at whenever the Bills play the Chiefs, especially in the regular season, it's like this is the best team in the NFL. Pa-
yeah,
Pass rush awesome, DB's on fire. Josh Allen plays, as as big of a controlled chaos role as anybody in any quarterback in the league. But then you look and it's like they were in a nip and tuck game with the Saints. They beat the shit out of Carolina, and then yesterday they lose to Miami at Miami, and it's like they could
yeah,
just.
definitely. Uh,
Mhm.
Definitely playing down our competition because, like, to prove your point too, like last year. I mean, I know seasons don't carry over, but last year when they played against the Lions, dude, like they put up like 50 or some shit.
Yeah.
Like it was like the Lions could not stop them at all.
Hmm.
So yeah, they definitely seem to be playing down to their competition. I couldn't believe that they didn't score. I mean, it was a third quarter, and I think they hadn't put any points up yet. It was like 16-0 or something. Uh, and if I was a betting man, I would have probably looked at that money line and would probably been like, it's Josh Allen. They're
Yeah.
gonna figure it out eventually. But yesterday they didn't.
To go into speaking of like betting lines and stuff like that, when within so after the 1 o'clock slate, I was looking, I was like, okay, so the Rams Niners game could be interesting. Seahawks Cardinals was probably going to be bad, and it was. Lions will probably beat the shit out of the Commanders. I blinked, and the Seahawks dropped 28-0 in the first quarter. And Demarcus Lawrence, the defensive end, has 2 scoop and scores. And I'm like, dude, what the? And when they were down 35-0 Arizona, I looked and I'm like, their live spread is 36.5. And I'm like, at what point is
Yeah,
this just too many points? And I I got him at like plus 30.5. And I'm just like, if you're not gonna buy in before the game, if you're a degenerate and a live bettor, it's always at what number is too big of a number. That's why in the Commanders Seahawks game, when they were down however much to nothing, at what point are too many points? Just I have to take points. Just
Right.
based off of, do you really think 40-point NFL wins don't come every week?
What was the final to Seattle and
It
Arizona?
it was like 41-21 or something like that. Let me see.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, they had. I believe they had the same score as the Lions game.
Yeah, they literally had the exact same score.
Yeah. And then the Rams were like 44-22 or something.
Yeah, 44-26.
Or yeah. So yeah, man. Who? It was. I'm guessing Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback for the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
yeah.
Tyler Dunn, like, is he hurt? What's going on here?
I think he's on IR if I'm not mistaken, which is really interesting due to that whole dynamic has just gone up and down. Because I remember one of my buddies who's a Cardinals fan, the year before they got Kyler, he wanted Josh Rosen, and because once again he thought it was going to be like that, and following year they get Kyler, and he was like, I wanted Josh Rosen because I saw the vision he would land us Kyler Murray, and I was like, makes fucking sense to me, dude. And the whole Kyler experiment, I think it's done in Arizona. But the thing is like he's from a pure athleticism talent perspective, he is awesome. The thing is he's 5'9", and
Yeah.
for as much of a golden arm as he does, because I think has a really good arm. The thing is the thing that is the biggest question mark around him is if he was 4 inches taller, he would have been the one of the best prospects ever, but he's not.
Right. And it's similar to like Bryce Young, like he's Bryce Young's like 5'10".
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, like you don't want to put too much stock into height, but like when you have linemen that are like 6'6", you're like, okay,
I
like
can't see over
like,
them.
right, how are you gonna see like and like you're gonna have to design rollouts, almost every play, and or just kind of trust your guy's gonna be there because you're not gonna see him, like, it's I don't know if you've ever taken a snap, if you and your boys ever played like fucking like full, like we
Yeah.
used to, for about 10 years in my 20s, or like, late teens, or into my 20s, we used to do the Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl every year,
Mm.
in the morning. We would show up hungover as shit. Some people would like be like yakking in the parking lot before we played. But we would play like a full on flag football game, but with full linemen. Like,
Uh,
your
11
linemen
on
weren't
11.
eligible. Well, as close to 11 on 11 as
Right.
possible. A lot, there's either like anywhere from like 8 on 8 to like 10 on 10, but we
Hmm.
had full linemen. So like, we would have the linemen weren't eligible to receive, and all this shit, and like, so you'd have and I don't know if you've ever taken a snap like with people actually like fucking like coming at you with lineman shit. Like, you do not have time. Like, I'm a taller
Hell
dude,
yeah.
like, I'm 6'2", and like, so like, luckily, a lot of my friends aren't as tall as I am, but some of them are. I hung out with a lot of basketball players and football players, whatever. But
Hmm.
the amount of time that you have, well, obviously I'm not playing with professionals, so like, they're not professional fucking linemen, they're not gonna be able to give me the fucking time that I need. But it just being able to like see over them is fucking huge because everything is happening so fucking quick. And I know they're more used to it than someone that play, once a year in this style of
Hmm.
football. But it does come into to effect, man. That's why you like to see these guys that are like a Ben Roethlisberger who's like 6'5", and a big dude, Josh
Hmm.
Allen,
One
type
of
shit, because. You need to be able to see over your 6'7" fucking left tackle.
That's one of the things that made Drew Brees awesome is he was one of the best anticipatory throwers ever because he's not
Mhm.
overly tall. I think he's 6'1", 6 feet tall.
Who?
Drew Brees.
Yeah, he's. I think he was about 6 feet tall.
Yeah, and so like he's not seeing over Jari Evans who was 6'6" and is right guard. It it just it because I think Kyler as a singular player can still be good. The thing is, it's because there was the one year where they started at 8-0, and it seems like every year those offenses, their offense like fizzles out. And I think they have a solid roster. It's just crazy young.
Yeah, I mean, and if the price of a quarterback wasn't like super outrageous, like you could probably see a team, say like a team like I mean, I'll use the Lions as an example. I mean, they would never do this, or teams usually wouldn't do this, but
Hmm.
or they may consider it if it was a if the price for a quarterback wasn't fucking crazy. But imagine if like a team like the Lions, like Goff, not very mobile. Imagine them signing Kyler Murray as like a backup quarterback, but having a whole like wildcat package with him. So
Hmm.
he's not there out there every snap, but you bring in Kyler Murray for these little packages and you're able to, run pass, play action, whatever, get,
Yeah.
move him out of the pocket, just making the defense look at something different. That unfortunately, a quarterback costs 50 million fucking dollars a year. And so you can't really have that dynamic, but that would be something pretty cool because it would be like kind of like a relief pitcher in baseball, right? Like it
Hmm.
would be like, okay, well, we're gonna switch up the look right now for either a drive, a couple of plays, or a singular play, like some kind of special package, right?
I mean, look at the
Um,
Steelers. I was gonna say, I mean, look at the Steelers last year because there were times where Justin Fields would come on, just
yeah,
purely for running packages, which pissed me off because I'm like, okay,
right,
he's coming into the game, he's obviously running the ball. I think when Russell Wilson came back, he isn't Justin Fields threw the ball combined like 3 more times
right,
in like
yeah,
every package that he came in.
right. And the thing is like, yeah, you got to have it more, 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 or I'm saying less predictable,
Yeah, hundred
you
percent.
know. Because yeah, the Steelers, I remember watching that. They're like, oh, because Justin Fields is on my dynasty fantasy football team, so I'm like, oh, okay, Justin Fields coming in for a 3 yard run, cool, that was awesome. You know,
Yeah, literally.
but if you have it like he's coming in and out, in and out, in and out, he's gonna throw the ball, he's not gonna throw the ball, he's just gonna hand it off, he's gonna run
Hmm.
some options, he's gonna run quick slant, whatever, and
We see that more often than not in college, but I don't know
yeah,
how a two quarterback system how feasible it would be in the NFL. I mean, it. I mean,
right,
once again, the Wildcat was great for a year. So
yeah,
would I be surprised if we see like a Terrell Pryor 2.0 and he just
right,
be like a gadget extra like a Taysom Hill type? Because Sean Payton
yeah.
was actually like, okay, Taysom Hill could be the successor to Drew Brees, but he obviously wasn't as pro dominant throwing the ball.
Right. But I mean, like, still, he was successful as his role of what he did. And I'm surprised that other teams don't try to do that. But, like, I mean, like you experienced last year with your Steelers, usually 9 times out of 10, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterback.
Bingo. And speaking of Justin Fields and like the Jets, dude,
Dude, how do you have 100 yards and win?
I'll do you one better
And you score
because
27?
I'll do you
And
one
I know
better.
no one was watching the game, so if you don't want to cover it, I don't really care because no one, no one outside of Cleveland or, the split New York fans. Um,
I was gonna make the same point you did. Like, like Brees Hall had a 42-yard touchdown catch, 47, after the catch, and Justin Fields ended with 54 passing yards.
Yeah.
It. I don't understand.
Hey, they won. It's a W. Hey, we're
Dude,
eating W.
dude, they had two punt returns in like the first quarter. One was 99 and one was like 79. It was insane,
Yeah.
completely insane. But I mean, if you want, I don't know how much of the Sunday night game you watched, but that
I watched
was
like the second half, and I was like, my buddy Lawson in the morning is going to be very disappointed. And
very
you know,
disappointed.
a
The
little sad.
early on, like I'm not saying that we had the potential to blow them out of the water, but the thing is, there was a touchdown that DK Metcalf what have you know walked into the end zone, slightly overthrown. That was the first game, and there might be some moving forward, but that was the first game yesterday where Aaron to me looked kind of old. And throughout the course of the year up to this point, he's been obviously not 2011 mobile Aaron Rodgers, but he's been mobile enough in the pocket to extend plays and turn back the clock ever so slightly. But it like I said, last night was the first game where he didn't look like he had his full touch on a lot of his balls. A lot were overthrown, underthrown. We had two or three big plays, including the one to DK that were just slightly overthrown. I remember there was one. There was like a giant crossing route where I think it was Roman Wilson had the DB beat, but it was underthrown, so the DB could get his hand on it. But even so, it's like our defense going against a team that was without both their starting left tackles, and Justin Herbert had the time that he did, and they were kind of pounding us on the ground.
Yeah,
It's super demoralizing when you enter a game and it's where like, okay, our defense had one of its best performances of the year so far last week, forcing 5-6 turnovers against Indianapolis and shutting the number one offense down. And now you're going up against a team that their offensive line is completely just in pieces, and your offense can't or and your defense can't will it together. Now, I granted, it's the Chargers, another fantastic defensive team, but in a spot where you were the healthier defense going against a hobbled offense, especially in the offensive line. I mean, that exact team played in Pittsburgh last year, and Justin Herbert couldn't finish the game because he injured his ankle the week before. So
well, we discussed preseason that the Steelers are probably only going to win about 4 games anyway, so they're probably already at that mark. So don't expect them to win any more games this year. So,
yeah,
but yeah, man, this just in, you have an old man at quarterback. So, sorry, you know,
sorry. I mean,
you're about to get your ass whooped by Detroit in a couple weeks too. So
I hope not. That'd be
you
s-
will,
that'd be super sad. I,
you will.
I might not
Hey,
show up
they're
on
going to
Monday.
squirt ketchup all over Heinz Field.
I might, huh?
They're going to squirt ketchup all over Heinz Field.
It's in Detroit.
Oh, whatever. They're gonna go. They're gonna drive to Pittsburgh and do that, and then come back.
It's all about the mental edge.
Yep,
It's
yep. They're gonna be like, "Who sprayed ketchup all over our stadium?" Dude, I feel like I look like a ghost because the sun's
the
creeping in
glare.
through
Yeah.
the blinds. Yeah, I feel like I'm a ghost. Um,
But I
and
think
we're not in
over
spooky season anymore.
we are not in spooky season. To touch on the another NFC North team, dude, JJ McCarthy looked bad again.
Dude, I what did we talked about on Saturday, man? We discussed those 5 quarterbacks that came out last year, and I think he's going to be the worst of the 5 of the first rounders or whatever. If or I don't know if they were all first rounders, but
Yeah.
pretty damn close. But yeah, dude, I don't think there was enough there in college. He ran a very pound the ball offense at Michigan,
Hmm.
and his half a season that he missed, or more than half a season that he missed his rookie season. Essentially he's still a rookie, right?
Mhm.
He hasn't played a full season yet. And yeah, he did look very bad. I mean, he went against a good Ravens team, but shit, dude, he like, yeah, he had what, two or three interceptions.
Mhm.
Um, um, we'll see it going forward, but I'm happy to have him in the North as of right now.
It's I was gonna say, especially with depending upon how tonight's game goes, Detroit's kind of sitting in the catbird seat on the inside ring of another NFC North title. What is I never understood, especially in the preseason. I never understood the that Detroit's going anywhere. I understand losing both coordinators is a big deal. However, like there's just to simply put, there's just too much talent on that team to be bad.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, dude. The offense, like um, I think I'm probably with the majority that we pay attention to the offense more because we just like points and we like to have the ball and we
Hmm.
like it's just more exciting to be an offensive minded person, right?
Yeah,
Um, But yesterday proved it for the Lions as far as like, okay, you have so many weapons, like whether it's St. Brown, Jameer Gibbs, JMO's now running routes, in the middle of the field instead of just okay, we're just gonna throw it to you deep.
which is
Um,
great.
yeah, absolutely. Sam Laporta is one of the better tight ends in the league. And then you have the David Montgomery still pounding the ball, and Jared Goff obviously knows how to facilitate it. As far as spreading it around to get everyone some love. But I think with the loss against Minnesota last week, they didn't give Goff any time. Like he was getting sacked over and over again. He was pressured. They had a great. I think it was who's the either the defensive coordinator or the head coach of the Brian Florence or
Yeah,
whatever else it is.
Brian
Had a
Flores.
great
Yeah.
game plan. Yeah, he had a great game plan to go against the Lions. Again, up down theory. If you want to believe in that. Minnesota fell flat yesterday. But I do have a question for you, man. Is
Hmm.
do you think Jonathan Taylor is a lock for MVP?
Lock? No. Should he? Yes. It is so. It's time that we make the MVP non-quarterback again because the last non-quarterback to win MVP was Adrian Peterson.
No, it wasn't.
And who was it?
It was Ladainium Tomlinson. No six. I
No,
heard this stat. Yesterday.
to win
So
MVP?
yeah,
No, Adrian Peterson won it in 2012.
I heard on the radio that it was '06 with Ladainian, and before that it was '05 with Sean Alexander. I didn't hear anything about Adrian Peterson. Are you
Well,
sure that he won MVP and not Offensive Player of the Year?
yeah, in 24, no, because that
You
was
just
Aaron
said
Rodgers' year. 12, yeah, 12 to 12, yeah. That was the year after he tore up his knee. Yeah, Phil, 100% look it up.
all right, I'm chat GBTing it.
That was,
Who was the last non quarterback QB to win MVP?
it was Adrian
Let's see if
Peterson
chat.
when it was Adrian Peterson when he was 8 yards short of breaking Eric Dickerson's record.
Well, you are correct. Why did the radio say wrong? I don't know, but it's been a while. So,
Hmm.
um,
And like the fact too, like he could not easily because once again you still have it's extremely difficult to do this, but there's a chance that he could break the touchdown record
yeah.
and and go for 2,000.
Mhm. Well,
And
dude, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that this doesn't happen more often because I get like split back situations and all this shit, but you get an
hmm
extra game. Um, teams are like the Calvin Johnson one. I can't believe he's still I can't believe no one's hit 2,000 yards
well,
receiving.
well, 17 games hasn't been the sample size for years with 17 games isn't as as isn't as massive as years with 16. I know
But
when
we're also moving to an 18. There is going to be an 18 game season
yeah,
eventually, and it's they're going to drop it down to two preseason games and 18
and then an extra bye
regular.
week.
Yeah, so it's like, which is all stupid. I think they should go back to 16. Um, it's just like I said, man. Like we talked about on Saturday or whatever the fuck day we did it. Sometimes less is more, and
Hmm.
it just I don't need 18 regular season games, dude. I don't need two bye weeks. I don't need it to go into fucking mid February or March. Like,
Hmm.
fuck, dude.
Because in a perfect world, the NFL would want to push the Super Bowl back 1 week, that following Monday is President's Day.
Yeah,
So the whole country has the next day off, so you can stay out and drink or attend
right.
X Y Z all that jazz. But the thing too, to me, uh, cycling back to the MVP and 2,000 yard
Sheep is
receiver,
crazy behind you.
huh?
The sheep was going crazy behind you.
Yeah, the Doge. What's up, Kyle?
Yeah, he was going crazy. He was
Um, with with when Cooper Cup won the Triple Crown, he was on pace for 2,000, and I think he was because he finished what second behind. What's up, puppies? He was what second behind Calvin
Yeah,
by
I think
like
so.
what 20 yards, not even. And
Yeah.
you look at a receiver like Jackson Smith and Jigba, like in the first quarter yesterday alone, he had four for like 83 and a touchdown, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, there's a chance he goes for 200 because I think as of right now is on pace for 2K.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think eventually, and I'm not a fan of key. If you're going to add regular season games, you need to have an acknowledgement that the stats of a lot of the all time great players, like example, uh, when Jim Brown was being awesome, he there was only what 12 I think 12 games a season way back when.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like
12. There was 12, there was 14,
and then
and
16 and now
yeah.
17, the influx of stats and the inflation of a lot of the numbers, it's going to be interesting to see over when in 15 years when people discuss it, it's like, oh, how good were these all, why is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
He only has 8,000 rushing yards, or
right.
insert whatever stat you want, because if Jackson Smith and Jigba has, a fantastic career, he's like, oh, he was the first player to go for 2,000 and he's one of the best receivers of all time. It's like, well, he had 2017 in 17, and there's going to be some of the older heads that think, oh, well, Calvin still has the record because he did it when there were 16 games, and
Right.
people of that mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like the undefeated 72 Dolphins or whatever. They played
Yeah.
less games too. So like, okay, like, are we ever gonna see a 20 and 0 or whatever fucking team go 17 and 0 and then and three wins in the playoffs, and then have they go 18 and 0 when they boost it up one more game. I don't know if we'll ever see that. That seems damn near impossible. But even
Hmm.
the one of the greatest teams ever with Tom Brady and Randy Moss couldn't do it. They just ran out of gas at the end. So it's probably something that we may never see in our lifetime, and that record of just going undefeated may stand forever. And there's nothing you could do about it because there's just more games. Like it's like, okay, well, you
And
played
like,
5 less games in the fucking regular season, or
mhm.
three less games, whatever they went.
Yeah, and the fact that too, like, for the expression of any given Sunday is real, and the fact that to have a perfect season, you have to a lot of luck goes involved also in a lot of these, like you have to win the turnover margin, you have to have certain balls bounce your way, and things of that nature, and it's very hard.
Injuries.
Injuries too, you have to fingers crossed that you don't suffer any major injuries. I don't know, the whole when it comes to the whole undefeated thing, I don't think we'll ever see another undefeated team. I think we'll see plenty of 1-2 loss teams, but undefeated, it's a lot, dude.
I think it's easier to go winless than go undefeated.
You think so?
Hard, yeah, and that's hard. I mean, it's happened twice versus once, right?
I mean, when you look at it that way, yeah, you're right.
So, but yeah, man, it
It's
was
crazy.
fucking impactful Sunday. Like just like this show, I won and you lost, and who do you got tonight? We got the Eagles and the Packers. I'm obviously rooting for the Eagles, and I think the Eagles will be able to win, but
I
we
think
got
Philly
the
wins
Eagles.
too.
I think we got the Eagles next week on Sunday Night Football. So,
Let me
uh,
see. I like Philly tonight. The thing, you guys do have the Eagles next Sunday on Sunday night. You're right. The thing that really is interesting is how does Saquon look? Because
hmm
last week was the first one of like the 2 times this year where Saquon has looked like Saquon of last year. And
yeah.
I think Green Bay is second in the league in rushing yards allowed, only allowing a little over 89. So the thing is, make Jalen Hurts beat you.
hmm
And he has the talent and the weapons around him to do so. However, if Green Bay wants, and that Green Bay offense is so elite, the loss of Tucker Craft is massive because he's your middle of the field move the chains guy. And without that, do I think the Eagles are going to let Josh Jacobs run all over him? No. So
Right.
it's gonna be a Jordan Love throw to Jalen Reed and Christian Watson and Matthew Golden as opposed to just getting bludgeoned at 6, 8, 12, 4, 2 all the way up and down the field.
Do you think there's a chance that we only see tush pushes from the Eagles offense? Gain 3 to 4 yards every time,
You know
the
what's
entire
funny?
game.
The reason why, and I'll die on this hill. If the tush push could gain 3 yards consistently, they'd ban that shit immediately.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because once again, it is it a a grueling very very tough play on the body, 100%. However, if they could get 3 or 4 yards every single play, just do that shit all the way up the field.
Yeah, they would never be able to be stopped, right? And it would be the most boring fucking football game ever to be played.
The game would last an
Actually,
hour.
so every day I kind of check to see what happened in this day in history.
Hmm.
Um you know and there was a couple days ago, it was the anniversary of the last scoreless tie in the NFL, and it happened in like 1940 something, and it was the Lions. I forget who the Lions played, but it was 0-0. I was like,
Zero
it must.
zero. I remember. I remember it was one of the worst weather games ever. It was like Steelers in Jacksonville, and it was like a damn monsoon, and all the
Mhm.
grass was like mud. I remember seeing the video, where I think it was the Steelers punted, and instead of the ball hitting on the ground and bouncing, it just stopped like on the
Yeah.
ground, like it didn't even bounce. I'm like, that must have been just hell. And speaking of weather, the weather was supposed to be nice yesterday during the Bucks game, and then about midway through the first quarter, it rained for like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh. And you know what's funny? If you looked all around, one rain cloud over
Well, yeah,
absolutely full stadium.
I believe that kind of happens in Florida like every day. Like it's like
Yeah,
basically things like 10 minutes a day. Um, I know it does in Miami. I know that happens in like Cancun, because
Georgia's.
it's places I've visited, like
Mhm.
that is a thing. Like it'll rain for like 10, 15 minutes and then, move out.
Georgia, that happens a lot. Not a lot in Georgia, but it happens enough to like really think about it. Like it'll be a complete, not a hailstorm, literally, but figuratively,
Mhm.
it'll be raining cats and dogs for like 20, 30 minutes, and then you'll go outside when it's done. It's like there's not a cloud in sight.
Right. Is it muggy after?
Uh, at the game yesterday, or like in Georgia in
No,
general?
like it's just in general in Georgia when that happens.
Um, I mean, kinda, but once again, it's nothing demonstrative. Like it's not
Yeah,
like crazy.
if if that shit would happen here, like it would be so muggy after, it's not even funny. Like especially like during the summer, like it just like it would be miserable.
Yeah, the whole the whole. I mean, the rain also felt nice because once again we're all standing outside in the fucking heat, and the fact
Mhm.
that I think he did it two, three more times afterwards, but I was really not concerned, but I was like, okay, this may or may not impact the like the play on the field, and I think there was one instance where uh the Bucks punted and I was about to say the Jags and the Patriots punt returner like caught it and slipped when he tried to turn. But speaking of the Jags, really quick, and that's where we could end the show. Did you see that they blew that 19-point lead they had twice?
I did.
That
I
was
didn't know
so.
they. I didn't know they blew it twice, but I did see that they blew it, and I saw that they lost on like a fumble like return.
It was so damn funny because I I was looking at the jumbotron and the Jags were up big, and I'm like, oh, that's not expected because I think the Texans have one of the best defenses in the league. But I was like, okay, it's really interesting that I didn't expect the Jags to score 30 plus, and then little by little, just chopping it away, chopping it away, chopping it away.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh because I don't know if you saw the Liam Cohen video afterwards, but like right when the game ended, he just took his shit down and fucking slammed it. And
Mhm.
there was a the Jags got into field goal range, but there was an illegal use of hands to the face, and
Yeah.
because I think the first play of what would have been a go ahead drive for the Jags, Trevor Lawrence just got immediately like swallowed up and engulfed.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Jacksonville, I feel they're always just one of those sneaky ass teams, and I thought they would be better than where they are currently in the standings. But it's
Yeah.
Jacksonville at the end of the day.
I know. I was about to say that, and I feel like every year I'm like, okay, you got to look out for the Jags, and I'm just like, I say. Luckily, I say it internally, and I don't verbalize it because people would be like, yeah, okay, and that's what tell myself at the end of the year. I'm like, think the Jags might be good, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's the Jags. But no one goes to their games, no one cares, they don't win. They're basically the London Jags at this time, at this point, or the European Jags. So, um, like I said, dude, I'm always hopeful for them, but it just never seems to, you know, come to
Hmm.
fruition. Anyway, thank you for joining us here on a very manic Monday here at the Legends Clubhouse. We will be live again tomorrow instead of Wednesday this week, since Mr. Lawson's got some traveling plans on Wednesday. So catch us back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll also be back on Friday. So if you can't join us live, check out the show after when it's posted. Go over to newleafnews.com/network. Both of them take you to the same great site. Whether you like sports, entertainment, murder shit, horoscopes, we got a bunch of daily content over there. Great writers, great articles. So give us a follow, subscribe. Go follow us on social media at New Leaf News on X, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, TikTok, and Facebook. Feel free to give us a good follow over there. We appreciate the support. I am at Bobby Kaboose on X and on Instagram. That is at Lawson_1226. His birthday's about a month and a half away. I know hey, Black Friday's coming up. Get him those Flacco jerseys. Get him a Miguel Rojas shirt and maybe a Star Wars action figure. I don't know. So he has something to do when he's not doing this show. So rejoin us back here tomorrow. I hope everyone has a great Monday and a kickoff to their week. And go Eagles, 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 or how that one politician spelled it wrong and it was funny. I forget how she spelled it, but she didn't spell
Hmm.
it correctly. So if Lawson, if you want to take us out and maybe spell it correctly, I spelled it correctly, but you can spell it correctly as well if you know
Hmm.
how to spell.
I can try. As always, thank you so much for joining us for New Leaf News, or for the Legends Clubhouse, presented by New Leaf News. Once again, go Eagles, fly Eagles, fly, EAGLES. Go Eagles.
Yeah, fuck the
Yes.
Packers.
Fuck the Packers. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 87.
Who's your favorite
Take
Avery Seven?
Gronk,
Johnny Morton, and not our offensive coordinator, the receiver that did the worm when he
the
would score a
receiver that
touchdown.
did the worm. That's a good one. But once again, as always, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you back. Huh?
He also fought in MMA.
Nice, good for him. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you beautiful people tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, we hope you enjoy your Monday, and we will see you guys soon.